Hello, hello, viewers of the Tube. So much going on. Here's our lineup. We've got updates from Oculus Rift's Developers Conference. GCHQ's surveillance program is revealed. The new quantum computer, some virals, and more. But let's start with some apples. As everyone, including Apple, expected, the new iPhones, which went on sale this past Friday, set a new record. So, how many units of the iPhone 6s and iPhone 6s Plus did Apple sell? Drumroll, please. 13 million units. It was announced on Monday, handily beating last year's 10 million unit first weekend record for the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. The sales figure surpassed last year's 10 million iPhone 6 and 6 Plus sales within the same 3-day period, with Chief Executive Tim Cook deeming the news phenomenal. But that doesn't yet mean that the new iPhone will surpass its predecessors in overall sales. One of the few factors that help tip the sales in favor of the new iPhone 6s is China. For the first time, China was among the first countries to carry the new iPhones from release date. Previously, customers in China had to wait several weeks or months before the new models were approved for sale. And as a reminder, here is Apple promoting their new phone with one of their best ads. It seemed to do the work.
This is iPhone 6s. Not much has changed, except it responds to the pressure of your finger. So you can peek into stuff. And pop stuff open, which changes how you play a song. Read a text. Read an email. Read the news. Wait, you read the news?
Yep.
Of course you do. Now you can change apps like this, pay at more places like this, and the new color looks like this. It's rose gold, it's awesome. And Siri is more helpful than ever.
Hey Siri, show me photos of tortellini.
Here are some images of tortellini.
Maybe get takeout? The camera shoots 4K video now, which changes how your movies look. Nice. Even selfies have changed. Now your screen is the flash. That's gonna get like 1 million likes.
Thanks.
Actually, photos themselves have changed. They move now. You just touch them. So yeah, that's what's changed.
Yep, it's a good ad. And now for our ongoing segment, who is spying on us and why? And today, the GCHQ, the NSA's British Yank counterpart. The British government has been running a web surveillance program far more intrusive than anything attempted by the NSA. That's according to Snowden documents published at The Intercept. Dubbed Karma Police, the GCHQ program pulls web data from intercontinental data cables, giving it ongoing access to as much as 1/4 of global web traffic since 2009. The numbers of surveyed users were astonishing. In 2012, GCHQ gathered some 50 billion online metadata records a day, and the agency planned to boost its capacity to 100 billion records a day by the end of this year. The data collected is officially classified as metadata, but it contains full records of sites visited, usernames, and even passwords. Unlike equivalent NSA programs, which require court approval of specific queries to the database, there appears to be no meaningful judicial oversight of Karma Police. Good to know, England, good to know. Now, in many people's opinion, the soon-to-be virtual reality market will be dominated by one company, and that's the Oculus Rift, owned by Facebook. Oculus has been working on a consumer product for a few years now, but now that we know that it will be released in 2016, we're happy. So, to ensure that the Rift will be ready with its own apps and games, Oculus needs developers, and well, lots of them. That's why the company has held its second developer conference over the weekend, with some big news and some small news. To get us updated with all we need to know is our very own Shai Ringel. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, what did we learn from this conference?
Okay, we learned a couple of things. Oculus Rift has their arms at a lot of different things. They used to be considered more of a gaming platform, and trying to get out of that corner. And one of the things that they are showing is something called Touch. We already saw it half a year ago, and now it's ready and it's big, and a lot of journalists tried it, and we have a video showing it.
Let's see it.
The first thing you need to make VR work is vision. If you can trick it, you can trick the rest of your brain and body reasonably well. But touch, that's something we do every day without even thinking about it. And when it's missing in virtual reality, it's one of the first things that you want.
One of the main design goals for touch was that it give you hand presence, the feeling that your virtual hands are really your real hands, that they're there with you.
We made hundreds of prototypes, refining on ergonomics, the types of inputs we had, the type of tracking that we had. And a lot of the assumptions you make at the beginning of the process don't necessarily pan out.
With Touch, what we had to do was make a solution where it doesn't feel like there's anything there, but when you do natural gestures, those things show up in virtual reality.
You need to track its position in 3D space. You need to perfectly track its orientation. And you need to do all those things with very low latency.
So what? It's a thing you hold in your hands?
It's a joystick that you hold in your hand, and it's supposed to understand what gestures do you want to do while in the virtual reality world. So you can do whatever you want with the hand gestures you already know, and you can move forward and backward because you have this joystick in your hand. And they're saying that once you get a hold of it, it becomes much more natural to you, and gambling that you'll need a joystick and not something that will read the real gestures of your hand, you know, just moving around. So it's a gamble for Oculus Rift, but it's an interesting one because the real natural thing, it's just using your hands without holding anything. That's the real natural thing to do. But they're gambling that you will need to do other things rather than only hand gestures. So the Touch is a combination of the two. They showed a lot of games. Of course, for Oculus is very, very important. We saw a demonstration of a game called Bullet Train, which you can use your hands to shoot while inside a train.
That's what we saw on screen now?
Yeah, that's what we saw on screen. They also introduced a really weird application for Netflix. An official application for Netflix, which will give you the opportunity to watch Netflix movies and shows in Oculus Rift, as you can see on your screen. It's
shows like what? Okay, now we're seeing it on screen. So what are we basically seeing here?
You're seeing a room that Netflix built for virtual reality, and you can sit on your virtual sofa and real sofa and watch movies in.
Why would you want to watch it there?
You would want to watch it there because the screen is bigger and you don't need a real, 48-inch screen at your house. All you need is an Oculus Rift, and it's isolated. The problem is it's isolated, and
you're lonely there.
And you're very lonely. It's for the lonely consumer.
Wow.
Yeah.
We talked about a developers conference. Can you try and help me understand what a developers conference exactly is? I mean, what do they want to achieve in this sort of conference?
A lot of companies have developer conference. The thing is that most companies have already consumers, which Oculus Rift doesn't have yet. They don't have the real machine that I as a consumer can buy. They have a machine that I as a developer can buy. They want to have a lot of apps and a lot of different ideas and a lot of developers doing different stuff to the platform once it's launched, because virtual reality as it is, it's confusing, and people don't know how to edit well and how to gather information about it, and they want to put a headset and have a lot of different opportunities. And this is what Oculus Rift is doing for the last couple of years. Even though they don't have any consumers, they want to be ready from day first.
Okay, and what was the most impressive thing we saw in this conference?
The most impressive thing was it came from Oculus themselves. They developed an app called Medium, which is kind of a crazy paint for the Oculus Rift, where you can create your own sculptures in virtual reality. We have a clip.
Okay, let's look at a video of it.
At first, I thought this isn't going to be real. I was thinking very flat, and all of a sudden, when I realized I could reach my hand around and cut shapes and twist shapes, I got very excited.
Pull the trigger under your index finger. That's how you add clay.
Ah, I see.
Got it.
I suddenly realized that the traditional 3D program, it's like working with one hand tied behind your back. With the Rift, I can rotate it as I sculpt it, the way you would clay on a potter's wheel.
When I was using Medium, I was thinking about something in my head, and before even thinking about what it was, I just put it out there.
I was super excited. The experience itself is truly incredible. In fact, I don't know how it would get much better.
It's unlike any other tool that I've used before. There's not a real secret to starting it. It's just having fun with it.
For lack of a better word, it's a psychedelic experience.
It's a tool that I feel like I could use right now.
It's really real, and it's really fun.
Okay, so let's sum it up with what was missing at the conference. Anything?
A release date and a price. There's no release date and no price. We know it's going to be released at the first quarter of 2016, but that's it.
Well, that's soon.
Yeah, but we need a specific date, and we need the price because it's going to be very pricey.
Okay, very pricey. Is what, $1,000?
The Oculus Rift itself is not going to cost $1,000, but to have it operated and have a computer that can run a real Oculus Rift, you're going to spend a lot of money.
Okay, Shai, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're moving on. Google, NASA, and the university's Space Research Association announced today that they're getting the D-Wave 2X. That's the newest and most powerful quantum computer on the market. The new machine will continue the work currently being done in Google's lab, optimization problems, and machine learning. With over 1,000 qubits, the machine is the most powerful computer of its kind and will be put to work tackling difficult optimization problems for both Google and NASA. Quantum computing is a tricky business beyond the general premise, which uses the laws of quantum physics and embraces randomness. It's lovely to embrace randomness. Scientists are not entirely sure how much faster quantum computing is right now compared to classical computing. But Google and others who invested in the project think that quantum computing is a route towards more creative problem solving. Here is a part of a video where Google is showing off their quantum computer.
This is the inside of one of our dilution refrigerators. All of this infrastructure is to basically operate the chip at a temperature that's 2 orders of magnitude colder than interstellar space. The processor is a quantum computer.
It uses things called qubits, as well as being either 1 or a 0. A qubit can also be both at the same time, therefore bringing about a quantum leap in terms of power.
Harnessing principles of reality that are, up until very recently, completely not observable by us is just fascinating in ways that I can't completely articulate.
Now, as if ads on Craigslist were not creepy enough, the Bew YouTube channel took a real Craigslist ad and made a reenactment of it. Remember, it is a real ad someone actually wrote. Take a look.
I am a woman seeking a group of 4 to 6 men to brush my hair in what I like to refer to as my grooming circle. I'm 5'8", and my nut brown locks fall well past the small of my back, terminating just below the buttocks. I work in elder care, and several of my male charges have often described me as both comely and a handsome woman. I'm 32 years old, but I often get ID'd when I'm buying a wine spritzer. By the case.
Tom. Pete. All right, good to meet you.
Hey, you're in the right place. Good to see you. Nice to meet you. All right. So we just sit right.
This is how the grooming circle works. I will distribute to each man a numbered brush from my array of fine boar's head bristle brushes. Bienvenue. Each man will gather around me and...
I kind of want to be here. We're not making fun at her. You're lovely. And that's it. Show's over. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new show of The Tube. Log on to our website. It's i24news.tv. All of our shows are there in the replay section. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.